Yep.
I've never seen a harder flex in my life.
This is SportsCenter.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto in Montreal at the Bell Stage, just steps away from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. It's about to get cooking out here, just like the sun is cooking us right now. They're still getting things going over here. You'll hear some construction. They're setting up the stage. It's going to be hot this week. And we will be here all week getting you ready for the race on Sunday, including shows on Saturday, Sunday. You know the deal. We got a lot of fun stuff planned. Cannot wait to show you all. But first, we got to start on the ice because we are just 4 days away from Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. First of all, I cannot believe we all have to wait 4 days until this thing gets going. What the heck? 4 days we are not. We still got to make content. So let's do a deep dive on the Cup, maybe finally coming back to Canada. Montreal was the last Canadian team in the Western Conference to make the final, which isn't exactly accurate because that was the COVID season. So before that, we'd have to go back to 2011 when the Canucks lost to the Bruins in 7 games to find the last time the Cup was actually battled for in Western Canada. Since the last Canadian team won the Cup in '93, only 2 of the 7 teams haven't made it to the final. Yeah. Toronto is one of them, well, whatever, but also Winnipeg's the other, so. And if you're trying to use history to predict how long the series might go, 4 of the last 6 Cup finals featuring Canadian teams have gone 7 games. Now, it's fun to look back at Canada's last efforts to bring the Cup home, and some of the teams we saw compete for it all. From a roster makeup standpoint, it's almost impossible to find a comp for Edmonton, especially in terms of top-end talent. The 06-07 Sens and 2010-2011 Canucks are the closest, though. Ottawa was led by a trio of Danny Heatley, Jason Spezza, and Daniel Alfredson, while the Canucks had the Sedins and Ryan Kessler. The one thing the Oilers don't have that the other 6 did, though, is an elite goaltender. Although the conference finals for Skinner might say otherwise. But overall, it's the biggest area of concern for the Oilers. What's not a concern is special teams. And for Edmonton, we are not just talking about the power play. The Oilers lead the playoffs in penalty kill and power play percentage, and the PK is over 90%, which is absurd. So is this Canada's best chance to win the Cup? On paper, it seems like it might be compared to the past teams, but that's why they play the games. I think this is going to be very exciting. I just love that we have all Canadians involved now. This is Canada's team. I know fans from Calgary are already chirping me. A lot of Leafs fans are already chirping me, saying that I was happy for Edmonton Oilers fans. But I am. Even though you guys DM me some mean stuff sometimes, I'm still happy for you. I told you we're putting the boots together here, okay? We got action happening. There's men doing work. There are women doing work too. It's just, on the other side, not behind us. Okay, let's shift over to F1. You see what I did there? Shift. This has always been one of my favorite weeks of the year. The city of Montreal is a fantastic host, and the race is one of those events that I just truly love. Now, unlike last year where Max pretty much dominated for the entire season, this year seems to be much more wide open. Now, as I say that and you see the driver standings, it might not necessarily reflect that as Max is comfortably on top. And while he has not won everything, he still has 5 wins, with the rest of the top 5 combining for only 3 this season. But of late, it's been a little different, as Red Bull started the year on fire, winning 4 of the 5 races, but have definitely come back to earth, having only 1 win in the last 3 races, which is kind of nice, I feel like, for F1 fans to just jump into every race not quite knowing what's going to happen. Having said that, the odds for Sunday's race, though, do point to another Max win in Montreal, as he's once again the heavy favorite here at -260, with Charles Leclerc having the second shortest odds at 6-1. And speaking of Red Bull, friend of the show, Sergio Perez has signed a 2-year extension with Red Bull Racing. We love that for Checo. TSN has you covered all weekend with the Canadian Grand Prix. It starts Friday with practice, followed by qualifying Saturday, and then the race on Sunday. You know how it goes. And just a reminder, we're only 4 days away from Mr. International, aka Mr. Worldwide, aka Mr. 305 Pitbull, performing just steps away from where I'm standing right now. Saturday, June 8th, a day before the Canadian Grand Prix, Pitbull headlines a podium concert presented by Google Pixel, featuring top DJs, tons of interactive activities, and more. It all takes place at Parc Jean Drapeau, just steps away from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Don't miss out, get your tickets at eventco.ca. Somehow they found a way to make baseball even better. Time now for my favorite segment and yours, why we love sports today.
Why we love sports today.
And whether it's called glow-in-the-dark baseball or cosmic baseball, either way, it's amazing, and we gotta take another look at this.
And free throw coupon on the way out of the door. That's because he loves y'all. He's a semi-local. Oh, 3 for 3. Keep
Still not sure how that isn't wildly dangerous, but it looks like a good time. Okay, this next one reminds me of the old Chappelle skits when keeping it real goes wrong. Oh, brother. Oh, man, he ate it in so many ways there. Jeez, that's tough. To football, and it's a big day on the NFL calendar, as mandatory minicamps open today for 10 teams. But our eyes will be on 3 camps specifically and a trio of receivers, who are still looking for new deals this offseason. After Justin Jefferson made history yesterday, with the largest non-quarterback contract in NFL history, including a whopping $110 million in guaranteed money. That's a lot of cash, bro. Oof. Oh man. Jealous. But our focus now shifts to receivers still looking for contracts, and what Jefferson resetting the market looks like to them. But it's not just Jefferson, as A.J. Brown and Amon-Ra St. Brown both got new deals this offseason and are making $30 million or more this year, as well as new deals for Jalen Waddle and Devonta Smith. Let's start with CeeDee Lamb, who's entering the final year of his contract, and will reportedly not be showing up to mandatory minicamp today. So should we be expecting a Lamb deal with the Cowboys anytime soon? Here's ESPN's Jeff Darlington.
Well, this is a significant moment in the form of, at least now they have the barometer. This is what the Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb have been waiting for a deal, whether Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, to get done and sort of give them a sense of where the market reset will be. That's not to say that CeeDee Lamb will exceed Justin Jefferson's money, but at least shows them, by the way, that this is a 4-year deal with massive guaranteed money. So CeeDee Lamb can now take this to the Cowboys and say, this is where we're working with. Does it need to be higher? Not necessarily, but at least we need to get somewhere close. That now the question, can they do that? There are no more excuses for the Dallas Cowboys. They've got to figure this out and decide whether in fact they want CeeDee Lamb to be their future wide receiver. And if they do, they've got to pay him.
And then there's Tyreek Hill, who's a unique case compared to the other receivers getting paid because of his age. But even at 30, you have to think he wants to get paid more than teammate Waddle, as he is the far better player. And his new agent Drew Rosenhaus reiterated that, saying, quote, Tyreek said that he would love to finish his career here with the Dolphins. Without getting into any more specifics, the Dolphins know how we feel. That's a very professional statement. Honestly, we've seen some agents out there not so professional on the Twitters. And last is Brandon Ayuk of the Niners, who is the least accomplished of the group, but has improved each year of his career, which led to a 1,300-plus yard season last year, his second straight 1,000-yard receiving season. And like CD, he also did not show up to mandatory minicamp today. While there seems to be no movement on an Ayuk extension, maybe the Jefferson deal, who was picked 3 spots ahead of Ayuk in 2020, will start to push this forward. And while it won't look anything like JJ's $35 million a year, we assume something in the $25 to $30 million range. That's all for today. We'll see you back here, well, in Montreal, but a different location, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, maybe, I don't know, depending on how the day goes, okay? Just forgive me for a little late.